Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid, and I'm joined once again by Maryland.
Good morning, folks.
Yeah, and it has been a hot minute, a bit over a week, I think, since we recorded the last episode in real time. So,
Yeah,
Maryland, will you refresh my memory? What happened?
well, I mean, we just took a moment here to glance back at turn 26, and what we've got is the biggest news is Jotun is under threat from, I believe, four directions. I mean, two of them are already fighting with him, and now he's had his NAP with Vanheim canceled, and he doesn't know that there's probably an attack coming from home. So Jotun is going to be spread thin. And the
Right.
other summary was he turned down a peace deal from Vanheim.
Yeah.
Uh, Now the other bits are Uruk has decided to try to eat some of Xibalba, and Pelagia has. We've heard some things that he's going to act, but we haven't seen any indications of what he's going to do yet. But it looks like everybody is at war, and we've got three dead players. I think if we quickly look at the pretenders of the world, there's three utterly out of the game. One,
Okay, well, we've got
well,
Mictlan
only
that's
two.
gone and Naba that is gone, but we've got Pythium who is on his very, very last legs, and Bandar
Right,
Log who is riding shotgun in the struggle bus. So,
right. I thought Pythium was done. I forgot that there was still a siege that had to be finished. As far as I know, there's nothing in Pythium's capital
right, yeah, he's
or
basically
insignificant because and he
toast.
that was I think he did the right thing, which was try to do some damage with what you've got left.
Yeah. Yeah, it did some cool stuff with the Divine Emperor Thug.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. It only worked once, but
Yeah. But hey,
uh,
that's more than nonce.
yeah. See, just look here at the province graph again. Just jump back to that. You can see Jotun is under stress.
A lot of stress.
Yeah, can he can he recover from this? I don't know.
Yeah. He
I don't know.
was uh in some of the messages you could tell he was cocky. Like expansion hasn't ended. Da 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 da. This is
Yeah,
it's kind of embarrassing. This is the tournament game. Da da da. Like, okay, buddy, don't be too cocky. Like,
yeah.
this is
You're
like Kris Lighthawk, and this is Psy,
yeah,
and this is Stonetroll, and this is jachello.
yeah,
Like, they're not
yeah.
dumb.
No, no, and there's still the sleeper of Pelagia.
Right.
Quietly just
Yeah, Pelagia's just got piles. Arco's got piles of troops on your border. I'm sure he doesn't have anything planned.
yeah. No, no. So
Yeah.
yeah, Jotun's under stress, but he's not in a complete everybody against him. It's not like
Oh
you have.
yeah.
The interesting one, though, is somebody's going to see, if we look at his ascension points, I think we see that Pangaea, I mean, that's a bit of a threat. It's quite a ways from the win yet,
Yeah.
but I would hope everybody else is keeping a close eye on that one.
Yeah. He had mentioned he's starting to kind of look at it too. I think, but
Yeah, because he's got
um,
the nice four completely within easy reinforcement time.
right.
And that's a solid core when you've got the four thrones in that in the square.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great start getting all those. Though he
It
hasn't
is.
gotten that one up here near Pelagia, but
Yeah,
um. Okay, so with that, let's start with Pangaea. We get a message from him. Misfortune value. I got a ton of gold from events this turn, along with two useful items. I can attribute that in part to conquering Naba, though. I think that's because Naba has luck scales still.
yeah, but it was on that province where he had that horrific event, even with his luck scales.
Was it? Yeah, that's funny.
That was when he got his fort killed by
Yeah. Oh, no.
independents.
So sad. Going to conquer Uruk next.
Oh,
Poor Uruk.
so he's not going at Jotun.
Yeah, and I
I,
think the timing of this works out because Xibalba sent us a message last turn saying Uruk had ended their nap with him.
correct.
The timing of this also implies he sent a note to Pangaea saying, "Hey, do you want some of Uruk?"
Yeah, and I don't remember Pan making any agreements with Uruk prior, so he doesn't have to cancel an NAP, I don't believe.
Yeah. I
So
think I can't
nice.
remember. He might have. Yeah.
But he could just move when he's ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually not. God, I can't. I need to keep a written down list of all the naps because I thought
I know.
I thought a little bit they might have had a nap, but maybe not.
I just vaguely remember they kind of had an agreement to leave each other alone, but nothing is formal.
Okay. Oh, and so let's actually see what happens with Pan. So Jotun pinging Pangaea here. That wasn't the scout, was it? No.
Yeah. I think he just patrolled it.
No, it wasn't. It was an actual attack because there's nothing here from.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, maybe Hysteria. Let me see.
Yeah, the patrol messages tend to be towards the bottom, whereas straightforward attacks are up.
Yeah, this was a straightforward attack.
Oh no! In Copperwoods, take a look. It's Pan versus Jotun, which means Pan was the attacker. That means he patrolled out the scout. If it was Jotun attacking Pan, the second battle message, Copperwoods. Oh no!
Oh, that's a different thing. Yeah, this is the battle. So this was actually a ping.
Yeah, I think it was. I wonder why.
Huh. Can you imagine as Jotun you're getting like 3v1 and you ping Pangaea?
Yeah,
Well,
that's one of those funny moves that I've seen in no Diplo games. Where you're not allowed to send any messages, but you can do funny things like scout attacks just as a hint.
Okay. Is that a friendly or a non-friendly hint?
I would say that's an aggressive hint.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a I'm getting ready.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see so Pangaea got pinged here. A lot of the white centaur are here, and it looks like they are rolling up towards Uruk, considering he said he's planning on knifing him.
Those two battles on the Agartha Pan border, those weren't with Pan, were they?
No, I think these are Indies.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm. So
yeah.
So Pan's pretty quiet. We know he's building up. And
we
also know we can't see a lot of his armies.
And he's in this night. He's actually Vanheim has actually gotten ahead of him here, off of eating Jotunheim.
Yeah.
So he's in this kind of he had been for a long time in this stealthy kind of position too, and building up a ton of troops, and now he's probably starting to get upkeep limited and is like, okay, time to go knife somebody now.
That is a nice position though. I mean, third in a game like this when you're only just a little, I mean, you'd have to check the other graphs because provinces is not the whole measure. Gem income is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Oh my God. What? Oh, is this Mother Oak? That might have been Mother Oak. Yeah, that was Mother Oak.
Oh, okay. Still, that's really nice.
That's a really big jump for Mother Oak. That means people don't have a lot of gem income yet. These graphs are going to go up a lot.
It also indicates that his searching isn't great. It hasn't been terribly successful.
Yeah.
Because his gem income for his province size is kind of low just based on manual searching.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Okay, so that's Pangaea. Let's see who's next.
Yeah, quiet turn from him.
Bandar Log, Volume 7, Counting the Days. I guess counting the days until he's out. We're unsure whether Volume 6 successfully reached you, as it seems our messengers may have been intercepted by Almish patrols. In any case, we are now faced with defending our sacred gardens against the merciless boots of black steel who have broken our walls. Rumor has it the invasion is now led by the famed General Kirby. Our prayers to the heavens are answered by many celestial beings who have come to our aid, but it may be too little too late.
I got a question. Did you happen to previously notice that Alm is using rename on some of his commanders?
I didn't.
I wonder, when we see that, we should look and see if he's got a General Kirby there.
Yeah. This could be the player Kirby, though, too, so I'm not totally sure.
Me either.
All right. Even Gagamura, the feared Rakshasa, has reincarnated into a Markata to defeat his kin. I hope we are going to be treated to a Markata thug.
How did he get a Rakasha? Was that his god?
I think he might have a sight. Rakshasa.
Because normally you can't get those unless it's Bandar
Log, right? Well,
But he'd have to have a blood economy, and then Rakshasa are not a summon for Bandar. You can get Dakini and Rakshasa are the capital only Lankas Magi. So I don't know how he got.
Oh, are you sure? I thought because there's the
Sure.
Rakshasa warrior. I thought, or am I thinking of the right name?
Yeah, there's a Rakshasa warrior and a Rakshasa.
The Rakshasa are the unarmored Rakshasa warriors, I thought.
Hang on.
Anyway.
Keep reading. And
Yeah,
I'll
you
look it up.
you look it up. After much deliberation and communion with the wise spirit Taurek, we decided the best defense will be to strike at our enemies' morale, forcing them to panic as they witness the splendor of our celestials.
Not a bad idea.
I think this means he's gonna do like a fear all thug.
Panic spam, fear spam, terror spam,
Yeah.
whatever he can pull off.
We hope we will still be alive by the time this message reaches you, and we want to share the tome of after action that our Rishi is preparing. Okay, so, oh yeah, he's worried if he loses here, he won't be able to send another message. He won't be able to send his after action message. Okay.
Okay.
And that's all for now, as we must run to a hastily prepared ceremony to seek the blessing of Grippa, the guardian spirit of cap defense. Very funny.
So I quickly looked it up, and Rakshasi with an I are the capital only seducers, dual form seducers for Lanka. I'm not sure what else it might be he's talking about. Oh, no, there's the hero. There's the Bandar Log hero.
Oh.
The Blood 3 hero. I bet you that's who he means.
Okay. That's cool.
And that guy must have accidentally got killed.
Okay, and this is the world right here of Bandar Log. The entire world. Everything that happens with Bandar Log is happening here. So, a big angry pile of All Mights. And Ulm, does he take everybody inside the fort and storm? No.
Oh.
So this is interesting. This is what.
Can you slide over to the left a little bit?
Yeah.
Because what did Ulm send in? Just a probe?
Yeah, just
a probe army.
Just a few of these guys. So
probably a bunch of guys that are wounded.
Well, let's check that. That's kind of interesting idea. Oh, you are absolutely right. Look at that. Every single one is wounded.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Just kill them off and get rid of them.
Okay, so over here, we've got this guy with some earth gems and this. I guess this Strength of Gaia. I don't know. That's a kind of weird kit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see it soon enough.
Anti-magic, maybe. I'm seeing.
Well, Light of the Northern Star.
He has a Yaksha here, which could be a thug, but is not wearing any thug gear.
Yeah, and that cost him nature gems, but a good use for them. So you have to summon those. I
don't see this hero he was talking about. Do you see it? You know what it looks like probably better than I do.
I do. It's got 4 arms and it's golden, and but I think it died, and he said it's it reincarnated as a Marcata.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Where's the Marcata?
Well, it'll be a troop because
I thought they don't. They don't. Okay.
Maybe it's the scout. That might be it.
And we don't know what its name was, do we? It'd be kind of funny to follow it.
Yeah, Gorgamura.
Oh, Gorgamura.
Yeah. Unless it shows up on the Hall of Fame.
Okay, that would be funny too. We'll go check after this. So, okay, let's talk about the meat and potatoes here, which is Ulm has an army of primarily heavy infantry, who have pretty good armor, but they're going to have to somehow get through all of this. And we don't see any swarm spam set up here, but potentially they can clog the gates with swarm. There's a small chance they could even foul vapor and kill everything, but they would kill their own stuff.
Yeah. I think he'd have to have a Yakshini for that, and I don't see one.
Well, he's got these Jade Amazons, so.
Oh. But,
I'm not Jade Sorceress.
N3 Water 1 if he went up enchantment, but
right.
Well, I'm expecting to see Light of the Northern Star here, which means Conjuration 5.
Right.
And then Thaumaturgy spam, astral spam
Right.
off Thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting to see. So
yeah, Mind Burn will delete All Mights pretty effectively.
yeah, but a detour into enchantment research for Foul Vapors wouldn't have made a lot of sense for him.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't see a god.
right, we don't see a god yet. So the problem Ulma is going to have to deal with is how are they going to fight this? Because their infantry is likely to get log jammed in this gate. It's not like they have Cav, which can crush through here and make space for everything else to come out behind them. And if they're log jammed, there is these are crossbowmen. There's a fair amount of crossbowmen. There's a ton of longbows, which will do chip damage against All Mights.
Yeah, they'll get through, especially if he's got Strength of Giants coming.
Yeah.
But again, that's an enchantment detour, so hard to say.
So we'll have to see. This is that's going to be a tough nut to crack. I think I've said it before, but I think for taking forts, there's a big value in having 100+ Ulmish crossbows.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah,
that would have been probably where you would have transferred your purchasing to crossbows. You
Yeah.
had enough with the infantry.
Yeah, the problem with crossbows is it's kind of weird mixing them in with your normal troops because they're like, you'll cause a lot of friendly fire. Like, if you're fighting stuff in melee, a lot of times the enemy units won't be able to kill yours. But your own crossbows can. So you end up like almost all your attrition 0 in crossbows. So it's a weird thing, but especially, almost going crazy on research right now. They,
Yeah, I know. He has been all game.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he's spamming owl quills like crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe he lucked out and got a fire random, or even possibly he got necromancers or something. He can make skull mentors.
I think they haven't sent the message yet, but they're going to, because I have kind of peeked at some of the future turns. He hasn't found a single fire site.
Oh,
literally not one.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So I'm
and
guessing
he site searched it all, so it's not like it's in the cards.
I guess it must be owl quills and then just lots of cheap magi.
Yeah. So, but if he gets, I think if you're playing Ulm and you get up to enchantment 6, you should. If you have an astral random, you can do a communion matrix maybe, or like a crystal shield.
Right.
And you only need air 2 to cast Aerofin. So any of your air randoms with the crystal shield can drop Aerofin.
With his research, it would make some sense for him. Well, I believe his god is air, earth, and something.
Well, that too, yeah. So his god could do it.
So he's got options there.
But if
and that would be very significant. Aerofin would make it very straightforward. So postponing a little bit just for a couple of critical research targets makes a good sense.
Yeah. Taking that battle with these guys, having Aerofin from his god would be a huge difference. But even even just kind of general planning, not how you take that specific fort. If you want to run an Ulm with more crossbowmen, you get these Arblists who hit for 15. Now they fire every 3 rounds, not every 2.
Yeah.
And you can buff them with Strength of Giants, and I believe this will kick it up to 17. But I could be wrong.
Should be a roundup.
Yeah, I think they get the 1 and then the roundup. And
the half 2. Yeah, that's what it should be, I think.
Yeah. And if you anyway, so that's 17 damage, but it's going to, because it's AP and piercing, the enemy's only going to get 40% of their protection value to protect against it.
I just wanted to mention, though, an awful lot of what's inside that fort for Bandar is unarmored.
Right.
So he might be better off with plain crossbows because he doesn't really need to hit that hard.
Yeah, that's true. In this particular case.
He's got aren't they the
sappers?
Sappers? Yeah.
They're twice as expensive, but they siege really well.
Oh.
But these are great because we're on the topic of how do you take forts with Ulm. A contingent of 50 of these guys, because they've got really good armor, 17. It might even be better than these dudes. No, it's the same. But 50 of these dudes can take a lot of forts, especially if you have like some magi in front, which are going to do iron skin, and they're guarded by some of your Olmish dudes, and then they're doing evocations and just forming a wall, and then the crossbows are firing behind, and you have Arrowfend on top of it. But like, imagine 200 of these dudes when you have Arrowfend on your own dudes. It is a lot of damage. It is so much damage. If you get hit by this, if you're a 20 protection dude, you're only going to get 40%, which is just 8 protection. So it's going to be 8 protection if these guys have Strength of Giants versus 17 damage. So it's going to be on average 9 a hit. Like, that will kill super combatants, you know?
Yep.
Anyway.
No, I agree.
Cool stuff.
Well, we'll have to see what he does next turn, because we're just kind of theory crafting right now on what his next move's going to be.
Yeah.
But, I was kind of pleased to see, though, that he did a probe, because you might as well check out the script, look for the gems, then you'll know what you're going to be facing.
I mean, I think this army would have lost trying to storm. I don't think this army would make it. This, you know, like...
It would get beat up.
The numbers don't count for anything when you're in that gate. I mean, the only way he might win is with, like, fire elementals, or, like... Does he have the priest dudes? No, these are master smiths. Okay, here's some priests.
When I've had to force a melee storm, what I do is I bring my support evocation magi right up to the front of the wall on the flanks, because they really can't be hit by other melee. They'll get shot a bit, but they can blast the evos over the wall.
Yeah, I think that's his only chance of taking it with this army.
I think you have to use a lot of evocations.
Yeah.
And that means either advance and cast spells, but frankly, I usually just push the whole damn army way up front.
Yeah.
Give them a few bodyguards so that arrows get scattered, because of that. You know, an arrow hitting a square is a 1 in 3 to hit any one of the members of the square.
Right.
For size 2s. So you put 2 guys on guard commander. The chance of it hitting your mage, and his magi can buff. They could easily iron skin. Very worthwhile for that.
This has me wanting to play Middle Age Elm now. I don't know why. I'm like jonesing for it. I'm like having serious cravings for playing Middle Age Elm.
Well, it's for people who like to play with troops. It's one of the best nations for that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, they have such really nice strengths, and they have weaknesses too. I think the main weaknesses is not having good access to the sorcery stuff. You know, to astral death, blood, and nature.
Well, and low magic resistance.
Yeah, that's true too.
No, that's a big one.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's a big one.
Especially picking a fight against an astral nation.
Well, it makes sense for them to take him out early before the big astral stuff comes online.
Yeah. But he also probably knows that, well, now he knows for sure that there's not that many astral magi inside Bandar's Ford.
Yeah.
Like, what, 6 or 8 or something? That's not very many.
And it's kind of funny that there aren't many, because Bandar's whole strategy was get a lot of mages, you know?
But he didn't build enough temples early enough. He had too many forts without temples and labs. And they require temples and labs.
Yep. Yeah, he was way too aggressive in getting forts put up.
This is turn 27. Arguably, a Bandar Log by turn 27 could have 30 or 40 cheap astral magi.
Yeah, at least.
Quite easily. All right.
Okay. So that's Bandar Log and Ulm. From End, so I've been building this nation. The next few turns will make it clear if this build has been solid or a house of cards after all. It's kind of a reference in a ways to Balance Guide. You know, building that stacks on stacks thing.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's a how do I put this? I think that's one of those a little bit meme style of designs that it's very cool, but it's a little fragile if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
I know the first game he took that method into, it went really well up to a point, and then it all sort of fell apart.
Okay. Well, I suppose he's not confident, so we'll see how this goes. The Western Theater is clear. Converge on the farmland and hope Agartha commits both armies there. With the large amount of mage support I can muster, At that point, I'm confident of a decisive victory. Then threaten his cap through the forest. East is less clear. So let's talk about this before we read on the east.
Yeah, can we just take a look at his capital and which way he means east and west? So west is his border with Pan and...
Right, so he's fighting Agartha, and so when he says the east is clear, he said converge everybody on the farmland and bring a boatload of mages, which you can see he has done.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mages. There's some blood mages, some tribes people, bunch of dudes. Okay, so that was the first part. West is clear, converge everybody, hope for a decisive victory. East is less clear. On the throne, I've got a palisade 1 turn from finishing, punished for these late forts. If Agartha fully commits his stack against my army there, I think I will lose. However, if I take half the army out in the process, the cost should be about an even trade. But my army will be more difficult to rebuild. But will Agartha do that? If he leaves his eastern army way out of position and vulnerable to my western thrust, might be better for him to go to 127 and split my forces. So 3 options for me. Defend the throne and the palisade. That's over here on the right. Attack 127, which is adjacent to that throne. Or pull back south. Not sure which to pick yet. So this is the throne in question that he was talking about, right? Where the palisade's coming up.
I personally would be defending the throne.
Right.
Because but we happen to know, he may not have seen it. I've looked at Agartha's scripts, and I think Agartha's scripting is the strongest in this game.
Yeah. Well, we have a good example of that here. So
yeah.
This is 127, where he was saying, okay, should I go to 127? And he chose to. And we have a big freaking battle. This is probably going to be the coolest battle of the episode. So if you've got some popcorn in the microwave, go ahead and pull it out.
Yeah. Well, look at that. Okay.
So this is the Agarthan host. A bunch of Shard Guard.
It's a bit blobby.
It looks to me like these guys, it looks like a bunch of successive line formations. I can't tell exactly what he's trying to do with the formations here.
Yeah, it's he's got combat speed. I think is going to give him a little bit of hell in that he's got, I think the human infantry are about 10, the Shard Guard are 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So this may get badly scattered as they advance.
Right. And the way these guys tile is you can see you can get one of these normal guys and a Shard Guard in a tile because the Shard Guard are enlarged.
Right.
Well, that's and you can't fit 2 Shard Guard in a tile. So
but why didn't he keep that going?
Yeah. But then, like you were saying with the map move, these guys are combat speed 7, the Shard Guard are combat speed 5.
Yeah, so these formations are going to get spread. And then how fast are the Agarthan heavies with the shields? Not the Shard Guard, but the generics.
Oh, these guys?
Not the humans.
These guys, yeah. They're slower.
They're 6. Okay, so
but they're size 3. I don't think, though. Sometimes the way the size stacking works, like sometimes, these guys. I don't know. I've seen it before. I've had more than 6 size points in a square. Once you have enlarged, but I think it was like enlarged plus formation fighter. It did weird, unintuitive things, but
yeah, I could see that. But that's so an interesting note. I'm just looking at. He's got a handful of cheap militia in the back there.
Yeah.
Why not have them way up front as bait?
I think this is PD. I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
He's in front of his PD.
I think so.
Okay.
Which I can understand, actually, but
Well, you got really
I think what we would look for a formation is maybe like 2 lines of Shard Guard, or this is what I would look for: a line of Shard Guard with 2 lines, but behind them by a bit of the human infantry, where you'd expect them to flow through. And then, because he's got so many Shard Guard, maybe flanking squads, like small boxes of Shard Guard over here, with some human infantry behind them also to flank with them, and have them on attack rear.
I'd probably be spacing it by squares with the Shard Guard about 3 squares in front of the human infantry.
Right.
Maybe 4, and then the pale one infantry in between. So that would be 3 lines.
Yeah.
Shard Guard, Pale Ones, and then humans. And then hopefully they'll hit and intermingle at just about the right timing.
Yeah. I think how that would work is the humans would wander in with the Pale Ones, but the Pale Ones will not be able to join a tile with the Shard Guard. But the humans will. So the humans should walk past the Pale Ones to join in tiles with the Shard Guard.
Another alternate formation could be bunch your Shard Guard in the middle front as a block formation, not a line, and then have flanking squads on each side of human and Pale One infantry.
Yeah,
kind of like what he's done with his magma kids.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then they would push ahead, but that would put pressure on the flanks until the Shard Guard can move up and engage.
Yeah, that and the Magma Children we should mention. These are really important. These guys, especially with the strength buff, will do a lot of damage, but they're also made of paper, and this is not a lot of them. This would be like what, 2 castings or something. Yeah,
about 2. About 2 casts. I think it's 3 a cast, so he's got 9 there.
Yeah, and then he's got about 50 Hoburg over here, and 50 Hoburg over here, which are great additions. And these guys would love to have a little strength buff too. And he's got some decent mage support. He's got this guy with some earth gems who we're not sure what they're going to use them for. We've got a golem crafter and some of these dudes. So this is the Agarthan army.
Right.
On the inside, we can see he's got the line formation. He's got some mages up here who are most likely going to be doing point buffing.
And probably 3 rounds of point buffing, and then I'm guessing advance and cast.
Right. They may also, and I don't know, they may choose to hop in a communion and they can do either mind burn or smite spam, depending.
Could be.
After the buffing. Because I'm pretty sure with this positioning, they're going to buff first.
Yeah, that's what I do, is I set it to 3 rounds of buff, so body, ethereal, or lock. 3 rounds, and then offensive spells.
Right.
When I'm using astral ones. See the one astral mage in the middle center. Does he have gems? Because he might be... Oh,
yeah, this is one of the cat mages. So he's got fire gems, which... I think this is for Solar Eclipse. Okay. Which is not very good against Agartha, because they all have dark vision. Mm-hmm. These guys have, I believe, perfect dark vision, and these guys have 50%.
Yeah.
So... And Solar Eclipse is a -3 to some of your stats, but if you have dark vision, it's only a -1. So...
Right. So then he's definitely going to be communioning up, because that guy doesn't have enough fire pass to do it if he's not a master.
That's a good point.
Okay.
And then he's got some blood mages, so probably summon imps or something like that. There you go,
body ethereals.
A lot of body ethereal. Now the problem with body ethereal is it's not good against Shard Guard because they have magic weapons.
Right.
And these guys, to look at their bless again, 4 attack, 15 shock resistance, 10 poison, blood surge, larger, and reconstruction.
Would you just glance at Im's bless now?
Right. It's 5 attack. Some of this is from that throne. He got the Throne of Fire, I think. Right. Magic weapon, shock resistance, poison resistance, fire resistance, defense +2, HP +9. That is a major HP thing. And then strength. So.
Well, and enough fire resistance to take some of the pain of the magma kids off.
I think it's only 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but it is not a lot.
No, it's not going to save it. Oh, well.
But the magma...
Okay. He just wiped the first 5 magma kids.
Yeah.
Without even effort. That was magic.
I don't know if these guys have a limp. Oh my god, they have a limp. All of them have a limp. They're so slow.
The other ones were just melted by,
yeah.
I think,
well, they can't... Okay. Well,
oh, no, that was strength adjustment.
Yeah. But they came in, so, a couple at a time. Now, the problem, if we look at this, these guys look like they're on attack, and they're coming in as a blob. And these guys look like they were on hold and attack.
Yeah, the formations are falling apart already.
Yeah.
It's spread all over.
There goes Solar Eclipse. And now just look at this engagement. Like, these guys are engaging all alone. Look at everybody who is not on the front line as an infantry is wasted. These guys are all wasted. And these guys who don't have any support are sacrificed. So
and MC is paralyzed.
Yeah. So if we...
that's, I think, holy smites, paralyzing smites.
Yeah, if we look at it on various parts of the battlefield, it's either feast or famine. There's either too many units or too few. And it's just really horrible formations here. What was that spell?
I think one of the magma spells. There's some earth melds going up.
Yeah, these guys are earth melding each other. I don't know who's casting it.
But that looked like sulfur haze.
Oh, that's Agony right there.
Oh, Agony.
That's from the Blood Mages of End.
Right.
Oh, this might be Sulfur Haze. Yeah, their equipment is damaged over here.
Okay.
But but still, look at this. These guys are gonna crush this flank. Some of these are earth melded, but...
And then 4 of them already ran past.
Yeah. Oh, these guys are back here in the Hobards. Okay, we have reinforcements coming to shore up this flank. And these guys have now kind of gotten themselves isolated back here with the Agarthans. And they are probably... I don't know. I think they're probably going to die.
So some of his astral magic have advanced. I see them just behind the line. Oh,
right.
And those blood magic. Or mixed magic.
I mean, look at all these smites.
Yeah.
There's so many smites.
Yeah. And his squad is already running. Some of the human inventory running.
Yeah, we've got a squad routed here.
Oh, he did some living earth.
These guys are not long for the world. But the Shard Guard are running. And that means it's game.
Yeah. It's over. That was a lot of Shard Guard dying.
Yeah.
And they're so slow, they're not going to escape. They're probably going to get wiped out 100%.
And what's interesting about this was, if you remember back in Expansion, Agartha was very particular. Well, I'll wait till this is over to say it, because sometimes the way the videos record, the battle sounds end up not mixing well with their voice. But
Okay.
Agartha was very particular in Expansion about formations. You remember how he had the lines of units and they all matched up perfectly, so they smushed together at the right time?
Yes, he did. And now he's stopped doing that.
Yeah. And now it's like let go of that.
I mean...
Agartha should have won this, I think.
That was a brutal loss for Agartha.
They almost won. Like, half of both armies died. They were very close to triggering a rout on End, too.
Yeah, but a script change.
Yeah.
Some changes to those scripts, I think, could have made a huge difference. I mean, of course, we're 20/20 hindsight, as we usually are.
Well...
That's half the fun of doing this.
Yeah.
But even when we first looked at the overall setup, we could see what we're showing up to be. Okay, could have done a little bit. And I've done that plenty of times myself, where you rush out a script because it's late at night, and you forgot the turn, and you got a half hour left, and you just slap something together.
Yeah. So, pretty good victory for End. Not free. Both sides, their mages lived. Both sides lost a lot of sacreds. Agartha, they lost less sacreds, but probably about the same in terms of, actually maybe a bit more in terms of how many turns of cap recruitment.
I believe that's 10 turns of cap recruitment.
Oh, you think so? Well, no, he can get more than 4.
Well, one mage, if I don't know what his
I forget, do they have
helmet, but I mean, I'm guessing he's got either Dominion 5 or Dominion 6.
Okay.
So 1 Sacred Mage and 4, maybe 5. I wouldn't think he can make more than 5 Shard Guard a turn.
Yeah.
And this is the second time we've seen him lose an entire group of Shard Guard.
That's true. That's true. He had that fight with Naba.
That hurts.
Okay, and then he got attacked, and got attacked here by some dudes that he killed without any problem.
That's funny.
Okay, so Agartha's in a weird situation. Fortunately, they've got their troops kind of in position. I mean, if they got backstepped here, they would be in big trouble. A Jedi move from Ashdod would be attacking Agartha right now, but...
if he's got enough scouting or he's paid enough attention or he's
Yeah.
talking to somebody. Any one of those options to give him some intelligence on the situation.
But yeah, this would be he could get a great little pickup here, but it's hard now. I think the odds were kind of stacked against Agartha, and Agartha chose this war, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
They were kind of stacked against him, but now it's gonna be real tough. And can reinforce this position. And still is in a bit of trouble on the Western Front, right? Because he still has to decide: do I reinforce this? Do I protect the throne? The throne.
Here's a funny Diplo possibility that I would be thinking of if I was in. Right about now, I'd be tempted to sell that throne to Vanheim.
This one. Oh, don't ever give a throne to an elf. Come on, Maryland.
Well, it's just a case of it's so far for him to reinforce. Across there's hills there. Getting over there is slow. He can't move from his more southerly provinces. He's blocked by that impassable mountain.
But he's planning on conquering Agartha, so in like 4 or 5 turns, he wants to have all this.
That's true. Well, it just occurred to me that I look at that and I see, okay, here's an extreme flank that's pushed too darn far.
Yeah.
And if you move in, although his fort will go up before Agartha can stop it now.
Well, if he defends it. If Agartha attacks, the fort construction's after normal attack.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I think he does this. I think in defense this, moves here to defend this. He takes these armies, consolidates to defend this province here. He takes this army. Okay, this is the risky move, but he takes this army and he attacks either of these provinces. Is a fort going up? There's no fort going up here. Yeah, so I think you attack either of these provinces. The problem of that move, and I think I would choose to attack this one, because if you attack this one and he brings all 4 armies here, oh my god.
Yeah, no, you're right. He wants to go straight north from that fort, do a bit of a spoiler attack. He's now seen.
But even this, if he brings all of the magma children here to here, and brings this army here, I think Agartha would beat End. But this is End's scary stack. This has more mages, better mages, more sacreds.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is spicy.
I don't really want to second guess him. He's fighting behind his PD is to his major advantage.
Right.
But pushing also helps take the initiative away, might knock Agartha off his routine. But to win this war, Ind is going to have to trade very, very well, steadily for the next few turns. He's going to have to continue this kind of trade, or even better. Otherwise, he will get flooded with magma kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems this is in favor of End, but it's also like trench warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And in no way is it over yet.
No.
All right. So that's End and Agartha. And I think we've done with the messages. So
just the dire part. That was just somebody claiming one of the thrones, right?
Oh, no, this was Pan putting up Mother Oak.
Oh, right. PNS Broadcasting Tower.
Pangaea Network Service. That's funny.
Cool.
Ashdod, he's got Garnets coming out here now. But, okay. Uruk with the scout got caught. Don't think there's too much. Uruk is getting ready to fight Xibalba. I think attack orders can land on 29, so not quite yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What's that little fight? Was that a ping? Oh, no, Xibalba caught a couple of scouts.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are just...
And so Xibalba still got his army on Pythium's cap, but otherwise not a lot happening for Xibalba.
No, very quiet for him. We'll just see how he chooses to...
Okay, this is a blood hunting province, though. He's got 2 Wayob, which I believe are the blood dudes.
Blood 2. And 1 Bakab.
Yeah.
Oh, blood 1. Oh, no, Way.
Way, yeah, okay.
That's pretty basic.
I thought I could have sworn it said way up. Am I misreading it?
Way up. Yeah.
But then you click on it, it says way.
Yeah. Well, okay. Same thing.
That's Illwinter. Like, you wonder how can that even be coded in such a way? Like, they have to have, I don't know, weird.
I don't know.
But so Xibalba's getting a bit of a blood economy going. It'll be really interesting to see what he does, because unlike other Xibalbas, they don't have national blood stuff. So when Xibalba, like middle-aged Xibalba goes blood, they do generic blood stuff.
They don't get an Aqui and all that tasty, wonderful stuff.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see.
They do get the toads, though.
Yeah, those are what, a nature summon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get Jade Serpents, Toads. They get the soul spells, which can work well. And then, well, very later on, they get the Balam and the Chalk.
Oh, yeah. Those are pretty good. They're expensive, though.
They're really expensive, but each of those is a serious beast. But that's pretty late, Conjuration 7 and Conjuration 8. But you're correct. He's got nothing in the basic blood. So, one way for him to really ramp up a blood economy would be going for Vampire Lords.
Yeah.
But he'd have to get death on something.
Well, he has Camazotz that he can get in caves still, I think. So I think he actually has that cross path even still. Let me check. I may be wrong.
No, Camazotz, deaths to Blood One, and then some randoms. But it's going to take a fair bit of boosters to get that up to making yourself a Vamp Lords, because you need death 4, blood 3 for Vamp Lords.
The blood is the easier stuff. You can either just empower it, and there's a lot of boosters. The death is tricky.
Yeah, because the skull face is death 5, so unless you can buy one.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would do that actually, but
it's not easy.
Yeah.
And he may be just planning a minor blood economy.
Yeah, I mean,
rather than try anything too crazy.
Blackheart Way are pretty good, and there's a bunch of things you can do.
Yeah.
Okay, so up here, still sitting on Pythium's fort. Let's go to Vanheim. So Vanheim had offered to not fight Jotunheim in exchange for these 3 provinces, which he has now taken, and he has cracked the Throne of Life.
And Jotun is now a 2-turn push to stop that fort on the throne from being taken.
Yeah.
So that's really not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And he's got a thug here, which is a snake bladder stick thug, which you don't see that often. That's a fairly
costly thug. Is that armor displacement?
Yeah.
That's expensive stuff.
Well, he's got 31 defense. So
yeah, it works. It's just pricey.
Yeah.
But a snake bladder and Mangosh, that's very solid. It cleared huge amounts of chaff.
Yeah, and you can't see it, but it's got a little cloud effect here, which is very effective against Vanaheim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, small, low hit point guys. And poison tends to cause a lot of morale checks, so it routes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But that is not a cheap thug.
No. But it was pretty darn effective, I must say.
Mm-hmm. What's his other one?
This other one, let's see how he can. He has Vans with him. This might not be a thug.
So that's probably just careless. Yeah. Oh, and a couple of gems.
Oh, yeah, for some air elementals.
Just some little guys.
Yeah. In case there was a thug here or something, the air elementals would have helped.
Yeah, no, that's cheap. That went fine.
Yeah. And now he's protected, basically, taking this throne, like you were saying.
Exactly. He's put a buffer. He can fall back, let Jotun bounce off a bit of PD.
Now, the army he has on top of this throne is a big cluster of Cav and a few mages. Let's take a look at just the mages here. For those of you who don't know, you hit F1 to pull this menu up. You hit C to filter for only commanders.
Good one.
So we've got the Dwarven Smith. This guy can do Strength of Giants, most likely. This guy's going to probably be doing Strength of Giants. Maybe...
No, that's
Wooden Warriors. That's... Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's Jotun's Skeeja. And I don't know who's got the
Lion Tribe
Witch.
So he's got got 2 Vanadrots. This one is a thug, and it's got the earth. So the earth random's a thug. It can probably do iron skin and stuff before it jumps in.
Well, that's a counter thug, I would say. I would
Right.
call that,
Yeah.
with a great sword of sharpness. I mean, if a Scratty shows up, that's the chop the Scratty up guy.
Yeah. Now, Scrotty deal with counter thugging better than a lot of things because, you know, they do liquid body, they have a ton of regen. They're not really relying on no damage coming through protection.
Right.
But he's got another guy here with the great sword of sharpness. This guy with the sword of sharpness and the main gosh of prank. So this is like a pretty hard thug. Probably the hardest thug he's gotten here.
Yeah, that's a fear thug as well. And what's his heroic ability?
Heroic toughness.
Toughness.
So, yeah.
Oh, so he's
Very
got a
good.
ton of hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy could just sit there and tank away.
Yeah. So he's got that dude. He's got a Van Jarl.
The other ones are probably doing a little bit of air evocation, I'd guess.
Yeah.
I don't see air gems for elementals, so.
The problem, I think, we'll watch is with these guys getting blessed. The problem is how much is he getting from the bless? Let's remind ourselves the bless. Shock resistance, poison resistance, fire, cold, defense, MR, Undying. It's an elf
very
bless.
Classic stat bless.
Yeah.
Yeah, inexpensive rainbow bless. Quite cheap, really.
I think the core conflict for Jotunheim is how is he going to kill this elf army? Not now, because now he can't even get to it. They're blocked off.
That's right.
But how will he kill this without a lot of mages? Because he doesn't have much mage. The thing is, when you just conquer land, like you reach out and you just conquer Mictlan. Anyway, once you've done that, you typically don't have a lot of mages in that area. Well, he has a bunch of mages that are his research core up here. And when you're fighting elves, troops are not the solution to your elvish problems.
No.
You may need some, like to protect your mages and to get buffed up and various things, but
Critically important, though, for Jotun is that if he pushes and advances, he could get trapped very, very quickly.
yeah.
You know, that's one of the dangers with doom stacking towards elves, is they'll come and snipe everything behind you, and then you either have to pull back and repair your retreat path or have a secondary army, and that one has to be strong enough to take like one of these little thugs or one of these five cavalry elf squads.
Yeah.
This is tricky. If he pushes forward from there,
I can't remember if these guys have magic weapons. I think they do.
I don't think so.
They do.
Oh, okay.
Was it listed here?
Yeah,
I can't remember if
there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, second part. No. So no body ethereal doesn't help him.
I don't even really know what I would do as Jotunheim. I think you have a few options. One option is you go protection and do a fatigue play. So you have a bunch of you doing skelly spam. You've got your guys on guard commander. You have a big Gaija core. You've got a turbo communion going. You're flooding out skeletons as fast as you can, and you put up rigor mortis and relief.
Yeah,
that's one way to maybe do it. The other way, the other way to maybe do this is having a Scrotty that can tank it, and it would have to be the biggest, beefiest Scrotty. But I think I've seen Scrotty do it. You know, do similar sorts of things. So
if he had the right, if he was lucky and he had one in the Hall of Fame with the right heroic prowess, might be the way to do it. Because there's a fair number of.
Yeah, he's got some Iron Will, heroic quickness.
That's not bad. Just a couple looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really big Hall of Fame.
But
that's only two of them though.
But I don't know. I think with the right buffs, it's maybe possible, or armor. You'd have to see. But the core problem is he doesn't have a lot of mages down here. So the thing I mentioned with like the fatigue play and all of that business, he probably can't do with the number of mages he has in this region. He probably only has, I don't know, 7 mages, Well, I'm talking about you'd probably want like 12 or 15. You know, like
Well, and we also have to consider Pelagia finally attacked. So how's he going
right.
to deal with that?
Yeah, so
He's still,
Pelagia has pinged all these places to see what he was going to do to defend, and then actually moved guys on top who are presumably going to come over here and take this lake.
that's possible. And then just be a never-ending constant threat.
Yeah.
And then he's still fighting Vanarus. Like if we've kind of shifted, I think the Vanheim story is quite simple. He's done a simple job. He's bit off a nice little chunk of territory that Vanheim can easily control. Jotun is on the defensive now, has to make some tough decisions on whether to reinforce or just fall back. But the curious thing is now what does Jotun do on his eastern and northern borders?
Well, I mean, this is a bit of an awkward way. Well, okay, we know he doesn't know this, but Pangaea is going to attack Uruk. So he doesn't have to worry about this border. He has to worry about it for Pelagia. But this three people, like Pelagia, Satis, and Vanarus, they're all kind of attacking through the same area.
So are they going to start bashing on each other?
Well, yeah, you know, there's not
really well coordinated. They're going to start. See,
yeah.
Jotun's got an isolated army there now. I don't know how valuable it is just north of that.
We got a fight to watch here too.
Sure.
We have 100 evils melt away. The Chad pretender god of Satis, with his 0 encumbrance armor on. A bunch of marsh masters. Some of these Sobek guard.
Do you think this is shadow blasting?
I think this is Wailing Winds. But I don't know what these guys are doing. Nature, bro, I don't know, swarm maybe? I don't know. We'll find out.
Might be foul vapors.
Okay, Wailing Winds is going up. Eagle Eyes.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough. And all of the Sobeks are on guard tonight?
Yeah, there were Wailing Winds. So raise skeletons. So he doesn't have Fort of Skeletons yet.
No, it is Shadow Blasts.
Oh, they are?
It is Shadow Blasts. I just saw it scripted. But I'm waiting to see what those nature gems are doing as that foul vapors.
Yeah, I don't know. Where's the guy? Okay, here he is. Stream of Life? Maybe for a Scrotty?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Shadow Blast.
Oh, Bolt of Unlife. Okay, Banefire. Ouch. Yeah, that hurts. Well, pretty simple method for
oh my gosh.
For Satis. I mean, basically he just has Wailing Winds, and if you don't kill him fast, you lose.
Yeah.
That's how it works. You know, the only way to stop Wailing Winds is you either berserk everybody somehow, or you kill them so quick that it doesn't have time to work, because it will eventually make anything run away.
Right.
Yeah. And so they just ran away. He didn't lose much, although he could have lost quite a lot on retreat. Ooh, 2 Marshmasters killed.
Yeah, this actually is not a good trade, you know?
Not really. I think they got, what do you call it when you age? The aging
decayed?
decay.
Yeah,
I think they got decayed. I think they hit themselves with their own Shadow Blasts.
I kind of want to see now that you say that.
Well, I'm kind of guessing that's what happened.
I think it's these guys. This guy who died. I think it's this guy, and maybe this guy dies.
Maybe somebody just got past the bodyguards.
And he stepped forward.
Oh. And look at his fatigue.
This guy stepped forward too.
Well, what the heck? Okay, well they just got whacked then.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess maybe if he didn't have that weird little scripting thing, it would have been better, but...
You know, something was funny there with the script.
I mean, as it turns out, they lost about the same amount of stuff in terms of gold. So
they did.
Maybe even more for Satis. Because these Sobeks are expensive too.
It depends on how many of the Jotun herdmen died on retreat.
Yeah.
But their commander stuck around, so hopefully it retreated with him. Depends on who retreated first. I believe that if the troops get off the battlefield before the commander goes, then they are not considered with him, and you get higher losses.
Yeah.
But we can't see that. We can't see the retreat report.
I think, like, if you look at all... Satis has this galaxy brain plan. I think for this thing to actually work, he needs a bigger army. Like, for this to work, he needs to just be able to sit on top of a fort, have a ton of dudes, and you're not going to kill him within 10 turns before your army routes. But, like, this battle, when they run away, it doesn't actually cost Jotun that much, because he just picks them up and uses them again. But if you were on top of a fort, and he's actually going to be getting strategic directives, whereas for the most part, this army's just been kind of bouncing around, right? Like, he needs to have a big enough army where he takes objectives.
Well, not only that, it would make sense to me to be buying a good chunk of inexpensive, not chaff per se, but his generic troops just to fill the lines to keep those Marshmasters safer.
Yeah.
Because he lost 2 Marshmasters, which would have not happened if he had a line of even just 20 militia in front of them.
Right.
The militia probably would have died, but you wouldn't lose the Marshmaster.
Yeah.
And you could do better. You could get City Guard.
Well, yeah. And these guys are getting fatigued out too after like 4 turns. I don't even know the exact point of having Marshmasters in Cold 3. They don't do that much.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah. I think he just needs like 300 dudes with his god. And, okay, you can't kill me before the... I mean, I guess he needs a way to deal with Scrotty, so maybe that's what the Marshmaster are for.
Well, the Banefire will kill Scrotty.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, have his god on advancing cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect that Banefire... I don't think a Scrotty can soak up, 4 or 5 Banefires.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think... And then it's this weird 3 or 4 way thing that's happening here that's keeping this army bouncing around like a goddamn pinball machine.
Yeah, and then... So who are the other fights in that area?
Well, we've got Vanarus up here.
So he just killed some PD.
His big army rolls out down here. And
just killed some PD. Okay.
Yeah, nothing really happening.
Bumped him with a scout.
Yeah, Vanarus, they have 4 forts that are making mages. They're still in the game, but they need to kind of make plays. I don't know what a play I would make as Vanarus here. I think they just need to get out of... Somebody needs to be the person that gets out of this war with this 3-way. And it's bothering me that nobody's doing that.
Well, arguably it's almost a 4-way, because at any moment Pelagia could also start raiding onto those shores.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's a mess. That little corner there, that little zone is... We're going to start seeing armies accidentally killing the wrong army. That's my prediction. Vanarus is going to bump on Satis, or Satis is going to bump Vanarus, or tell Pelagia. Yeah. I mean, Jotun is the defender, so of course he knows he's fighting all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, though, to me it's obvious Vanarus should try to get out of this. But Vanarus also needs to have a first war. So either Vanarus can engineer with Jotun, hey, let me peace out and I'll fight Satis for you if he thinks he can win, if he has an answer to this god in Wailing Winds, which I don't think he does.
Maybe not, but...
He does have the Berserkers, who once he hits Thomp 5, he could send them Berserk. But,
right.
So that's an option, but, he also has to worry about foul vapors and other things, which, he might be able to have answers to. So he could maybe get in a 1v1 versus Satis. He could come up here and try to vulture the Bandar Log stuff from Ulm. But Ulm has the best tech in the game. I don't know if I would want to pick a fight with them.
Yeah. Although he might not know that, but...
Yeah. Well, you kind of assume that with middle-aged Ulm a lot of times, but...
I don't know. If you look at players who seem to be playing this very close to the heart and very... strategically careful, Vanheim and Pan come across to me as the ones that are making the best strategic level, top level decisions. Yeah. Very carefully picking wars they know they can win with minimal cost, grabbing little bits of territory, locking that territory down, not overcommitting. But a bunch of the other nations seem to be in a little bit of this frantic grab. Ashdod actually is doing a pretty good job of that as well, I think, because
Yeah.
his comments sort of suggest that he realizes he's in a place now he can slow down, build up infrastructure, and prepare for the next stage.
Yeah, having vision of everything that's happening here and knowing the diplomacy of all the players gives me a better perspective, obviously, than, if we were in the game. But knowing all that, I think the best play for Vanarus, so and and Agartha are locked in war, you're not going to get them out,
No.
is to reach out to Ashdod and say, hey, let's get Vanheim to overextend into Jotunheim. Because here's the thing. Elves roll out. You assume elves are everywhere. Elves, let me tell you guys, elves are not everywhere. They seem like they're everywhere. They are not. When Vanheim rolls all this stuff out into Jotunheim, this is almost everything he has. Right? So...
Yeah, absolutely.
Vanarus, if he and Ashdod come in here and attack Vanheim at the same time, there's a lot to gain there. He could cordon off a big portion of stuff and set him up in a really good position. But, and these guys are fast, so it won't take them. You're going to have to fight this elf army. But, right now Vanheim's going after Jotun, which is in position 1. So you let that happen. These guys overextend, and then you come in and crush them. It seems like a really good play, but I don't know. What do I know?
Well, the trouble is, we're not in the heads of these guys. We're all we can do is sort of go by what they're doing. But I agree with you that this little corner here, the Sitis, Vanarus, Pelagia, Jotun mess, it's going to get really ugly before it gets better. And right now, I would say that some of the advantage is in Jotun's hands for this piece of his war, because
this is where he has all of his mages. His mage core is up here.
And not only that, he doesn't really have to work too hard to take back these lands. He can sort of set up ambushes and whittle away at them. And Vanarus and Sitis are pushing. The more they push into Jotun, the more they're going to conflict with each other.
Right. Exactly.
And unless they are really talking a lot together, and I don't see indications that they talk at all.
But I don't even know how talking would help. Because they have to, if they talk, they have to agree who gets what. Well, how can you agree who gets what when y'all are all going after the same land?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't like trying to fight a narrow-fronted war with an ally that I can't talk to all the time, because you're going to get bumps, and those bumps hurt you.
Yeah.
Killing the Jotun army, sure, that's fine, but having Vanarus and Sitis have a Pyrrhic victory against each other by an accidental move, that doesn't help either. Well, it helps Jotun.
Okay, I think we have gone through all the nations, and we are over an hour. We're at an hour and 7 minutes, so I think...
It was a fairly big one, but no, we're good.
All right. Well, we've got... I feel like there's a lot hanging in balance right now, and...
Absolutely.
None of the nations, unless they're basically dead, like Bandar Log and Pythium, all of these other nations who are fighting, there's a ton about to happen, but nothing's happened yet. Nobody's defeated, anything like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out.
It is. I'm looking forward to turn 28.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Maryland.
You're most welcome again.
All right. And I will see all you viewers next time.